This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Peter Dubois. First tonight, state lawmakers took an initial vote today on a bipartisan bill that seeks to change how cannabis gummies are labeled.
Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard has more on what changes may soon be coming.
What we saw today was my colleagues in both the Republican and Democratic parties acknowledging this, and we had a strong over 2/3 vote to move this forward and let these folks bring their products to market in a safe way.
Representative David Boyer of Poland sponsored LD 2147, which seeks to change the way cannabis-infused gummies are labeled by removing the current requirement that each individual gummy be stamped or embossed with a universal symbol for THC.
Because what we were finding in the industry is a very haphazardly applied and perhaps inequitably applied standard, mostly because it's a subjective standard. You look at a piece of candy, and depending on the light and depending on the other environmental factors and depending maybe on the inspector's mood, it passes one day and then maybe it doesn't pass the next day.
The bill passed the House by a vote of 102 to 36, passing the 2/3 majority requirement under an emergency bill.
Grateful for the strong vote from the Maine legislature today in support of Maine small businesses and common sense and protecting public health and safety.
Susan Meehan, the president of the Maine Cannabis Union, says safety was always top of mind during discussions of this bill.
This is so important to us because it maintains the child safety features of our packaging, it maintains the tamper-proof packaging, it maintains the child resistance packaging, and it maintains the symbol and the other labeling requirements on the label.
The Senate is scheduled to vote on the bill Tuesday. At the State House, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Governor Mills unveiled a change package for her supplemental budget that allocates more than $100 million for investments in housing, childcare, and nursing homes. The proposal would fund a number of initiatives, including $22 million in one-time funding to create more than 150 new housing units in Maine, with additional funds to support purchases of mobile home parks by their residents. It also includes $12 million for one-time relief grants for child care providers, $23 million to support nursing facility reform, and $17.5 million for the Maine Emergency Management Agency for storm recovery. The supplemental budget, including the change package, is currently being worked on in the Appropriations Committee and would need to be voted on by the full legislature before the legislative session ends on April 17th.
In other news tonight, a Palmyra woman died after being hit by a vehicle on Saturday. It happened just after 7:30 in the evening. Somerset County Chief Deputy Michael Mitchell says 45-year-old Heather Corey was crossing Route 2 from the Walmart parking lot towards the Dollar General when she was struck by a van driven by 80-year-old Gerald Heskett of Palmyra. Mitchell says Corey was taken to a local hospital where she was pronounced dead. Heskett was not injured in that crash. It remains under investigation, but Chief Deputy Mitchell says speed and alcohol were not factors in the incident.
In other news, a $30 million bond for Maine trails is one step closer to getting on the November ballot. On Friday evening, the Appropriations and Financial Affairs Committee unanimously voted to send the initiative to a full vote of the legislature. Advocates have been pushing for lawmakers to send the initiative to voters and say the influx of money will help almost every industry in the state.
Because we've never had a trails bond in the state of Maine. We've never invested in our trails. Trails bring a lot of value to our economy, to the quality of life of Maine people, and the time has come when people recognize we could get even more value, more for our economy, more for our public health, get kids back out into the outdoors, create opportunities for seniors to have trails that are accessible nearby.
Both chambers in the legislature would have to approve the initiative by a 2/3 majority in order for the question to appear on November's ballot.
Well, winter weather can certainly wreak havoc on roadways, causing potholes and cracks along even the busiest of streets. But that same kind of damage is also inflicted on sidewalks, which creates an inconvenience and potential hazard to those who use wheelchairs. Our Doug Banks has more.
Being able to step over a crack in the road or a pothole, it's just a luxury that a lot of people don't realize they have.
19-year-old Ko Sumimtra has lived in Bangor for 8 months, but has dealt with chronic pain, narcolepsy, and more his entire life.
I'm what they call an ambulatory wheelchair user, and it just means that I have the ability to stand and walk for short amounts of time. But using a wheelchair is the best option for my health and safety.
KO's trip down State Street to his physical therapy appointments are met with potholes and cracks in the pavement, an inconvenience that's only heightened by changes in the weather.
I'm trying to get new chair and new tires, but it's a really difficult process. And so in the meantime, I just get trapped inside when it snows.
KO states he's made 2 requests to the Public Works Department, one for a damaged sidewalk and another for electrical issues on a nearby intersection crosswalk. The department's director states the sidewalk has been fixed and the crosswalk is still under advisement. There are around 147 miles of sidewalks in Bangor. Combined with a Maine winter, it's unrealistic to believe every mile will be kept in pristine condition. But a new software system called C-Click Fix could help expedite that process.
Would that help the communication between the department and residents?
I'm hoping so. The new system will show those intermediate steps that somebody went out and inspected it, and yes, there is an issue. Another person was dispatched out and addressed the pothole.
When we make things accessible for the people who need it the most, life becomes better for literally everyone.
In Bangor, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
1 week from today, the moon will completely block the face of the sun, creating a total eclipse. Parts of Maine are expected to be some of the few places in the world to witness complete totality. And Governor Mills was in Orono today to share safety tips and promote Maine as a premier eclipse destination. Our Grace Blanchard has more.
Maine will once again have the best seats in the House for a historic total eclipse of the sun.
On April 8th, more than half of Maine will be able to see the eclipse in full totality for more than 3 minutes. Governor Mills says her administration has been preparing for the event since last year.
We expect tens of thousands of people to travel to Maine to enjoy this incredible event, and we couldn't be more excited to welcome them.
The Maine Department of Transportation is urging people to be prepared for congested roads and to be mindful of Maine weather.
This is mud season in Maine. And if you don't know the road and haven't been on it several times already at this time of year, don't go on it.
Officials from the Maine Emergency Management Agency suggest people pack paper maps as they expect cell towers to be overwhelmed.
Traffic management plans, we have fuel shortage plans, so we have all these plans that we look at whenever there's an event like this to make sure that every base has been covered.
The governor also stressed the importance of enjoying the spectacle safely.
Regular sunglasses just won't cut it. Eclipse glasses block the sun's radiation from reaching your eyes and causing permanent damage.
For more safety tips, visit our website, foxbangor.com. In Orono, Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
So the buzz has already been building for weeks. It's just going to get more. There's just going to be more and more excitement swirling as now we're just within a few days of the event, really.
Yeah, and we've been talking about it for so long since we're so close to that path. But you're really starting to hear that buzz really across the country now. People getting so excited, and a lot of people traveling long distances to be close to that path of totality.
Yeah, and it's going to be sweeping right through our wonderful state. Let's go ahead and get a first check of our forecast. Welcome back. Maine is known for its vast outdoor recreation, and for those who love to fish and hunt, well, today is a very big day. April 1st kicks off the first day of open water fishing at lakes and ponds. According to the Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, many bodies of water are closed to all fishing for months to help protect and preserve certain populations of fish, like the native wild brook trout. It's also a big day for moose hunters, as Mainers can now submit applications for a moose permit through the state's lottery system. According to the department, they are expecting more than 60,000 people to apply for the 4,000 available moose permits.
April 1st still holds a special part for hunters and anglers, particularly fishermen. They know that's really kind of the start to the season. It's when they can start keeping fish. And also, if you love to hunt, you know you need to apply for your moose hunting permit, and you can start doing that on April 1st.
A big day for sure. Well, according to Lottie, there are 360,000 licensed fishermen in Maine, and he says both the hunting and fishing industry are huge economic drivers for the state. Applications for the moose permit and fishing licenses are all available online, and for more information, you can visit our website, foxbangor.com.
April 1st also marks April Fool's Day, and if you've been around Maine for a while, you probably know no one does pranks and gag gifts quite like Perry's Nut House in Belfast. The nearly 100-year-old novelty store has been supplying Mainers with tools for their own individual hijinks for decades. According to Perry's Nut House owner Kent Darling, there was a sizable amount of customers who stocked up for April Fool's Day over the weekend.
People come here specifically for that. They call ahead to see if we have them or not. It's pretty funny, you know, ink shooting pens, disappearing ink, like I said, whoopee cushions and all kinds of cool stuff.
On April Fool's Day, the Nut House is getting ready for the upcoming summer season. They'll feature some new attractions like some locally made ice cream and a Perry's Nut House museum. Lots to look forward to, and I'm sure lots of fun being had today.
Probably get some good ideas walking through that place.
Oh, I bet.
All righty. Well, coming up in sports, Brewer baseball is back after a 14-2 season last year, and they've got a brand new home field too.
We'll have that story right after the break.
Well, in other eclipse news, with 1 week before the big event, the city of Niagara Falls in New York State has actually already declared a state of emergency. The city lies directly in the path of totality, where the moon is expected to mask the sun's face for just over 3 minutes, and local officials are concerned that with an expected 1 million visitors, the eclipse will create traffic jams and strain emergency services. The last time the area saw a total solar eclipse was back in 1979.
Horses found in less than ideal living conditions are getting a new lease on life thanks to a rescue and rehabilitation center in Windham. As Jody Hersey tells us, the Maine State Society for the Protection of Animals works day and night to provide food, shelter, and veterinary care for these horses until they can be rehomed.
The horses that are here really are horses who have fallen through the cracks for a variety of reasons.
When horses are neglected, abused, or found to be living in unfavorable conditions, law enforcement and local animal control officers will bring them here to the Maine State Society for the Protection of Animals in Windham.
So we rescue, rehabilitate, and ideally rehome horses, donkeys, and mules.
Horses just like this quarter horse cross named Cherry.
At the time she came in, her feet were overgrown. She had no boots, no shoes, no support for her feet, so she was having a really hard time walking.
Jeff Greenleaf is the operations manager at the MSSPA.
I don't like the horses when I'm picking them up, seeing the situations they come from, but knowing that they're coming here and getting everything they need, that's the best part of the job.
This nonprofit, which receives no state funding, provides food, shelter, and all the veterinary services these animals need as they convalesce and heal.
So when they come here, we like to think that their luck changes.
3 of the horses from the Maine State Society for the Protection of Animals are now living here in Orrington at Reigning Hope Ranch. This is the new home for Trip, Amir, and Leo.
The participants they love them all.
Reigning Hope Ranch provides equine-assisted therapy to adults and children with diverse backgrounds.
I hadn't anticipated when I started this organization to be using rescue horses so much. It has provided an unexpected benefit to both the horses and the participants in our program because there's so much relatability between their pasts.
However, not all the horses treated at the MSSPA can be adopted or rehomed. When that occurs, the animals are allowed to live permanently at the MSSPA for the remainder of their days. In Windham, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, when I lived in southern Maine, I had the extreme good fortune of volunteering at the MSSPA, and it is just the most wonderful, uplifting place you can imagine. It is so wonderful there, and they work tirelessly for those horses. It's just extraordinary.
Yeah, you know, just getting a glimpse there, it really seems like that's the case. Hearing from the people who work there, you can tell how passionate they are, and horses, just such majestic animals, and so glad to see that there is something like that for them here.
There's a real spirituality about them for sure, and love that there's a connection to our region as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Alrighty, folks, well, that is going to do it for us. From everyone here at ABC 7 News, take care and have a great night.
Good night, everyone.